talking to Jamal earlier was to bring like the staff in that saw and has input and hopefully solutions. And then maybe whatever we decide or whatever we change or whatever, maybe it goes out tomorrow morning and then people have the day to look at it and respond and then implement Thursday. I don't know if it's something that you want to record. It's kind of like everybody needs to be involved in it. That's just my opinion. Me watching a recording of us kind of going through all this would not be helpful.
Okay. But Kylie's just going to take notes for us.
That's just me.
Thanks, Kylie.
I'm done.
Yes, thank you.
You may want to record the part about you're going to get paid. I mean, that's the important part.
Just that part.
Yeah, just that part. But I just wanted to just thank you guys for actually having some patience with me. I do apologize. I do want to own all this. I mean, what was I going to say? I just did things just all really backwards, though, just as far as when I sent the schedule out and everything like that. But I really my intent was and leadership's intent was really for us to kind of come up with a plan, have you guys kind of look at it, and then we roll it out. There was just feedback questions that leadership had that didn't get addressed, and so it was put out, and so that's really on me. But just as far as, so we just kind of like had a debriefing, just some of the support staff, and so can I put the map up again? Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let me share the screen though real quick, okay? A little quick share, and just let me know when you want to talk about that pay part. Hey. Okay.
You can share, right?
Yeah. I was just trying to make sure I got the right map. Okay. And so what I was hearing. Okay. So you guys see it right there? Oh, wrong one. Sorry. Of course, the wrong one. So what the feedback that I was actually getting. And Jeanette, tell me if I'm not representing it correctly. So what we were actually thinking was, in this, when we kind of shifted though towards it, it made the families happy, made the kids happy, and it made the staff happy. So we were talking about where it says the 2nd and 5th grade Walker pickup. We were saying that, hey, if we can move this in this lot over here. So at least when they're here, right here, they can actually visually see their children right there. So that was one change we wanted to make. This left-hand turn, I just heard, like, you know, and Jeanette, just some of the people who are watching this left-hand turn, they were subjected to stuff that you shouldn't be subjected to. And I don't mind. I mean, I'll switch right here. I'll take that abuse right here. But personally, I still feel, please correct me though, I still feel we should not allow this left-hand turn. And I don't like to refer to other sites, but I know Powell doesn't do it, Encina doesn't do it, Greer doesn't do it. It's just really dangerous with all these cars coming here. I still think we should probably stick to the no left-hand turn personally, but I'm open though to it. The last feedback was this area right here. So what they were saying was, if you have siblings, because just going from what I heard yesterday and today, I felt we kept adults generally off the campus. That was really the main goal, was to keep the adults off. But what the feedback was saying was, they were saying, hey, if we can have this area right here where if any siblings, this is where siblings meet. So siblings meet right here. Anyone has to get siblings, they come right here. So as far as them walking up and down the campus, they all know, hey, meet your siblings in front of the school. We still keep the K through 1st Walker pickup. And that's exactly what I heard as far as making it better.
Well, Jamal, I personally agree with the right turn only spot, because I remember last year there was an accident there, and one of the 1st graders families was in an accident right there, coming out trying to go left when everybody was coming coming down Bell. And so I think that's a really good idea myself.
I do too, because I also noticed as they're pulling out to make a left turn, because some people still made left turns even when I asked them to go right, they just went around me. But they cannot see because those cars are parked along there.
Mm-hmm.
And Jamal, remember that part I was showing you where it's the red zone?
Right.
I was able to keep cars out of that, but they cannot see to make left turn. And at the same time, kids are coming across from the apartments across the street and they're not using the crosswalk right there. So there were kids running that way, people arguing on whether to go right or left. It was, I would say maybe 5 people were really like, told me no and made a left anyway.
So I think maybe one of those, no left-hand arrows, but I think also what's really impacting, pickup is really the lunch issue. I don't know if we want to talk about that though now, but I think there was 3 to 4 classes that were, the cars were sitting there waiting because it's a weird echo, because they were waiting for lunch in the cafeteria. And I think if we clean that up and had everybody outside when the bell rang, I think that would really make this go a lot better, a lot smoother.
I agree.
It looks like a lot of 3rd and 4th grade teachers have their hands up. Jamal, FYI.
Oh, I can't see. Oh, sorry.
No, I couldn't either.
Yeah, I can't see. I mean,
They're all popping up on my screen.
Well, I'll just talk then because I don't want to wait in line.
Yeah, talk.
So just a suggestion for lunch pickup, because it seems like the system we have for dismissal looks like it can be successful and it'll flow well. But picking up lunches, we've tried to suggest this solution before and it wasn't really heard. So I don't know if it's just a bad solution or whatever. But because there's so much congestion at the end of the day of everyone picking up lunch, and like since it's the end of the day, all the compounded like errors from the like earlier grades picking up lunch are then felt at the end of the day. So if we could maybe just have like a bin for each teacher where like M. Lewis has like, 7 no meat, 3 meat in there, whatever the numbers are. And then I can just send like 2 kids to pick up that bin and bring it out to our line. Then that's like a whole class less of students walking through the cafeteria. And it allows 4th grade to exit out of those back doors. And then there's less congestion in all the other walkways too. So just a suggestion to get like bins with teachers' names and have the lunches in there, like just ready to go, so we can just pick up the bin. And then there's no like counting, there's no confusion because it's already just in the bin.
That's something you're gonna have to talk to like Joel about though, because he is a Nazi about all of it, like the documentation and so.
Yeah, I mean,
either documentation, I think it's just who would pack the bin. That would be the only question, because we can do the rest of the paperwork.
When I was talking to the support staff, I was sharing what we did at Edison. Like we got these Costco, like the bag, these Costco bags, 2 different colors, one meat, non-meat. And what they did, the teachers, as the students come in, you just simply have your roll sheet, meat, non-meat, and then they come and pick them up right at probably about 8:30. They give it to Joel, he does it, and then they go and deliver. They set them right at your classroom, just to, and just deliver it that way. It was successful at Edison. Then again, we don't have as many students, but when I was talking to them, they said they can do it, but they were just saying they would be needing coverage. And I said I would, do the coverage for recess and everything like that. So we would take them from recess, and they said they felt they could run through the school and get everyone's lunches delivered though to them, but they said they would need some support.
Well, and even if there's not enough staff or whatever to like deliver it, if the bin is just sitting in the cafeteria,
oh yeah,
that like, especially for the older grades, like we can have responsible students just go grab it, and then staff doesn't need to do that. So just that could be a possible solution for like 3rd, 4th, and 5th, because it's really congested.
Well, that could work, but the problem is the lunches are not made, and they're making them one kid at a time. So why are we short 100 lunches?
I mean, that's the problem. Yeah, at the end of the day, I was the last group that got it. And there was another, 60 to 100 kids after me that they are sitting and making the lunches then. So it's not a point of us getting through. I think we would not have a problem if the lunches were on the table, but the lunches aren't on the table.
And it was my understanding he was shorthanded too. I was trying to help in there today, but it was told to me that they were short.
But there starts with like a massive pile of them, and they're not really like doing anything when the 1st graders are like, because I pop in there sometimes and they're not really like just staying on top of it. So
And I don't know if I mean, Joel keeps saying that the numbers are off.
Yeah.
Like he gets the numbers and it's not the numbers, and
Well, Maureen, I
I
think it has
can't.
to do with late students. Joel told me that he's not getting the, like, we put the sticker on the kids and then they go to the classroom. And I'm assuming the teacher puts in the numbers, but like when I went to Hallie.
No, not of late. No, Joel does those. He's supposed to have all the late slips that have the student's name, the teacher, and it says meet, no meet. He's supposed to fill them in.
Oh, I was going to say, because I went to Hallie's class today and they were in small groups, so it's not feasible for the teachers to put in for late students.
Yeah, that's why we did it that way.
Okay. Okay. But he told me that he's not getting the late students counts in time.
It's not 100 kids though either
True.
that are late.
Very
So
true.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know on that one. But I like the bag idea because Maureen, that's what we thought of at the beginning with the buckets, remember?
Yeah. Yeah, I like
But again, I feel like the bags are a great idea, but he's not bagging enough lunches. So, I mean, maybe it'll make him bag enough lunches, but the problem isn't that there's a line of kids backed up and there's food for them. So even if we all had our own bag, if we're still 100 lunches that aren't being bagged, that won't solve our problem. I think the problem needs to be, there needs to be more, if either they need to be more efficient, or we need to find more help to make them more efficient.
Well, and I know Heather in our meeting yesterday, not to put you on the spot, but I mean, you said it went smooth and I was in there too. And it's like, everybody got out in time. It was great. And then today it was just a backup.
Yeah, which was confusing because it was so smooth yesterday. And I think we were some of the last classes to go through there and there was no problem and they were on the table and it was fine. But yeah, today I was a part of that last group coming through the last like 4 or 5 classes that were waiting. It was rough.
Yeah, I think Lisa's correct. Sorry, Hallie.
Sorry, I was gonna say, was he understaffed just today or is that every day?
Well, I'm thinking that he is constantly understaffed.
Yeah, that's what I was under the impression too.
You think about the staffing we had at the other site and the staffing we have now. His staffing has not changed, but
our enrollment has.
Students by 300 students.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's asked for more, and yeah, he has. This is all that they'll give him, even though our size is larger.
I think by doing the bins, it's going to make it very clear as to, because he's saying, oh, the mistake is the numbers being put in. We're saying, no, lunches aren't being made. So by doing the bins, you can find out where the mistake is because your count will be off in your box if that's the numbers you put in. Yeah, you all know what I mean.
Yeah.
It is sometimes, I do think it is sometimes though. Like my kids will say they didn't ask for food and then they'll get there and they're like, yeah, actually I do want food.
Well, and that's when you got to say, sorry, you didn't ask for food. You have to order it ahead of time.
You can't.
Just grab it.
Just grab it and go. But that falls on him. That's why he needs to make extra, or you know what I mean?
And I've asked that too because I said like there are some kids that they don't know they're hungry in the morning, and I say like 100 times like, are you sure you're not gonna be hungry? Are you sure you're not gonna be hungry? I know you're fasting, but you can take it for later. You can take it for later. You can take it for a snack. And then it comes up. I could be the problem. I'm not 100 kids short.
No, that's the problem. And this conversation I have constantly with my class because I think they're so used to, like, whenever you go to fast food or whatever, you hear the menu, you see pictures, and then they hear what lunch is. I try to show pictures from the website, but they don't always have pictures. And if there's no pictures, they're not buying into it. And then they come and they see, and it's just, so I put in extra lunches because I was having the problem where I'd have 3 kids say they want lunches and then 12 of them want something when they see what it is. And it's especially problematic when the menu does not align with what is served. And they see that it's not what they wanted, so they don't want it, or it's something different that they do want. So I think another discrepancy that really needs to be addressed, and I know it's come up before, is that the menu has to be accurate because we are essentially selling it to students. And if it's not accurate, I don't blame them if they don't want it. I mean, there's like cheese on the menu every day, and a lot of these kids don't eat cheese. So when it's a non-cheese vegetarian option, and then they walk in and they see those little cheese sauces, they're like, I don't want that. That's gross. That's not what I ordered. So I think that's a bigger issue that needs to be addressed, if not by us, but by the district. They need to have accurate reporting of what meals are going to be, because the amount of food that is thrown away is disgusting. There's whole oranges, string cheese, corn, like it's ridiculous the amount of food that just gets thrown away.
And pictures.
And pictures. It needs to be accurate, and they need to have pictures. It's not an unreasonable thing to ask.
I asked Joel about it today, and Joel said that they actually changed the menu 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I had already printed it out a month ago thinking that it was going to be the same for the whole month. But what had happened is that they couldn't get the supplies that they had, and so they had to change it. So there has to be some communication. If that's the case, we need to know ahead of time that those things have changed so that we can change our selling points on them too. So
Please be sure that we
Jamal,
address the people that have their hands up. We have like 3, Dana, Anissa, and Lisa have their digital hands raised, and they haven't been addressed. Can we work on that?
So I was asking about the left-hand turn. I don't know how comfortable people would be with this, but a lot of our after-school drop-off, pickup, it ends up being like a disrespectful interaction with like parent and teacher or parent and staff member, and it can be really awkward and uncomfortable. We've never had officers support us during our pickup. And I think that if we're going to have it to where we can't make a left turn and then people are not going to listen to Jeanette or a staff member and just go for it anyway, that can cause an accident. And maybe setting it up to where we could talk to law enforcement about how we're not trying to get our families in trouble. We're trying to help educate them about traffic laws and traffic safety. I think going about it that angle would be really helpful, especially because our families do not have their children in seatbelts. They do not have them in proper car seats either. And so I will go in and Farsi tell the families, like, you will get a ticket. And like, it's just like, oh, well, I never see them anyway. And that's like been said to me, like, oh, well, when I go, I never see cops anyway. And I'm not doing it to like scare the community. I think that maybe it can be more of a partnership where we're educating families about traffic laws, and that way things are taken very smoothly and it's not a disrespectful interaction, and we do accomplish a lot more with more hands on.
Might be able to get Safe Schools to help us out. I know they've offered to do that before. You know, Octavian just coming for arrival and dismissal, and he could just stand out there. Just get 2 of them.
That's a good idea.
And Jamal, before I forget, I wanted to mention this too, because I know you're going to talk to Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
Jeanette had come up with an idea. Well, actually, I guess it was done at Dyer Kelly before, where there would be a tray of food so the kids could see what it looked like. But for whatever reason, Shannon said we can't do that. And I know that's inside, but I mean, I don't know, we can maybe take a picture of it and send it to all of you so you have the picture, you know what I mean, of what it is. But for some reason, she said we couldn't do that, and I can't remember what it was.
I'll talk about it.
Okay. Grab one of them from the trash bin, honestly. Like,
yeah,
there's so much, I do the crosswalk across from the church, and kids are always just pulling out food and just dropping what they don't want on the ground. And like, I picked up trash by the black gate of food that hadn't even been open that they just throw on the ground or like half eaten. It's just so wasteful. And I get so upset about food waste. And it's just like, just drives me crazy. Like, I don't understand why there aren't other things in place to avoid food waste, to let children make informed decisions about what they want to eat and respecting those dietary needs.
Dana, do you have your hand up?
I did.
I'm going to try to get on that, Bonnie. I don't know where you are.
I was going back to pick up. So are we done with the lunch discussion? Because I wanted to go back there.
No, we're not done. This is just, we keep flip-flopping, but yeah.
Okay. My question was to clarify kindergarten. When you say that there is like the central sibling meeting zone, I'm not willing to let my kindergartners go find their sibling. So I don't want a central meeting point for kindergartners. I want siblings to come to us, and that's a little bit selfish on my part, but I don't want 5-year-olds walking around trying to find their older sibling. And I am really a stickler about eyes on parents or eyes on sibling if their sibling is picking them up. So can you clarify what that is?
No, yeah, no. I mean, I completely understand what your point about that. 5-year-old just kind of just walking just in this area right here. You don't know, and this gets kind of. I'm just thinking all the kind of families and all the kind of commotion that possibly could happen here. So, I mean, I understand. I mean, I probably partly really agree, not partly, but I really do agree with that. Do you think we should maybe cut the level up? Do you think we should be utilizing this, or?
So
This area seemed pretty, when I was looking, it seemed pretty vacant. Like this whole area right here was just vacant.
yeah, so today what first grade did is we kind of kept the protocol of what we were doing before. We met the siblings out on the playground. So any kids that had siblings, I sent them with their siblings on the playground. And then the kids that do not have siblings, then I took them out to that main area in the front. And that was just kind of me being like, okay, they might be in this parking lot, they might be in this parking lot. So that's kind of why I went in that central spot. But I feel like meeting on the playground and upper grades, correct me if I'm wrong, has been working out well for most families. Lisa, maybe you're the only one I can see.
Well, that was what I was going to talk about. That's why my hand was up. I came in a little bit late. You were talking about making that the central place, because right now the kids are extremely anxious about siblings, very anxious, and especially today where there were some classes that were 20 minutes late. And that hopefully will not normally be the case. But the kids are trying to stand literally in front of the cafeteria door, want to wait even in the cafeteria. So trying to get them to push back on the white lines and not in the blacktop area has been hard. But I've just, at the very least, of reminding teachers, being like, no, please make sure the siblings are waiting on the lines or anything else. I just am worried about in the front area too. These kids are I've been told to find my sibling, and finding whatever way we can to ease some of their anxiety when brother is not there automatically.
Well, in that area at the front of the school, there's tape out there, I believe. We just need supervision out there to not the kindergartners. I agree with Dana on that, but all the other siblings. That would clear up that congestion by the fence. We don't want waiting in the cafeteria.
Yeah. So the new plan is no one will be on the blacktop. Everyone will leave and go out the fence. The only people that should be on the blacktop are Bridges. Is that the new plan?
I'm not saying that. No.
Well, I have a question about that, because if we all the siblings meet in front of the school, and the children go home and say that, I just feel like maybe all the parents will try to meet them in front of the school instead of how we were like I like the playground. I saw the parking lot work today, like when parents stood in the parking lot and all the kids were just right there. That was really nice to get them to move. If we move all those siblings, which is probably more than half of our school, they're not going to see them and know where to go. Just a thought.
And it'll be hard for the people that are waiting for their siblings. They're going to need to go back in the black entrance or go around if they are walking with their sibling.
Right. Well, and also the parents and like tomorrow I'll take masks out with me because there are numerous parents that came on without a mask. So tomorrow I'll have a mask to hand to them. But they were able to walk down the sidewalk and stay on the sidewalk and still see their child without coming on the grounds without a mask. So, but tomorrow we'll make sure that I have masks to hand out at the corner as they come onto campus. So that helped.
And also I have a recommendation, or I was just really concerned with how the crosswalk, having two different people kind of lead the crosswalk, because one person was saying one thing and then the other person was saying another thing. And even myself, I got confused when I was about to walk in front of a car. So just maybe having one person leading that, saying, okay, people are going to walk and then not going to walk, stopping, kind of leading that whole commotion.
Go, Sarah Johnson.
Sarah?
Oh, thank you.
Then Kristen.
And then Sarah Lewis. Okay.
And then Sarah Lewis. I didn't see you, sorry.
Okay, so I have two things about the kinder. Where it says the kinder walk pickup, that aisleway, that concrete aisleway, Jamal, do you see that? Oh yeah, oh no, that's my mouth. Just kidding. Oh, sorry.
Here is.
That is a landscape ramp. So today there's a landscape truck that needs to come in and out of there. And also Head Start, I think it's Head Start, maybe the preschool, because those kids are driven in, but they're not on a bus. They have special personal drivers that need a place to park. So they need to park there because they can't park in that loop. So we can't have families standing there with the landscape and the parking cars.
Right in this area right here?
No.
No, where it says here. Pick up walker here.
Oh, right here.
For
Okay.
K1.
No, other side, left.
Oh, over here. Oh, over here.
Yes. So the K1 walkers, they can't go there because cars are there.
So we need to move this then right here.
Maybe to the sidewalk.
Over
There's
here.
a sidewalk, no, like down. Yes, there's a sidewalk right there.
Okay.
The other thing is because there's no left turn, the cars were turning right and then turning right again into the kinder lot and making a big old U-turn and turning left. And the preschoolers are walking around in that parking lot trying to get to their cars on the street because the parking lot was full. So making U-turns in that parking lot is not, I mean, maybe we close that gate. I don't know how to solve that problem. I don't know, but we need to fix that too. Does that make sense? Like they would leave the big parking lot, turn into the kinder parking lot, make a U-turn and turn left out of it.
Oh.
So we don't have anybody there.
No, there's nobody there regulating. And so I felt bad for Jeanette because they would scream at her, turn right into the parking lot, and then just turn left right in front of her again.
So they would do this, come right here, and then just do a left turn. Like
Yes.
that. Oh.
Or they would go, I mean, some of them would do that. Some of them would honk and go around and try and get out the other way. And the preschoolers and kindergartners are walking around in there. So it was a little risky. That's all.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen.
Sarah Lewis was raising her hand way before me. So I'm going to pass
Sarah
it.
Lewis. Thank you.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking too much about this, but so you're moving the 2nd and 5th grade walker pickup from the grass field area, well, that fence there, to the inside the parking lot
To this area right here, yes.
while teachers are trying to leave?
That's why I initially put it over here. No, this is why, because I thought about that. Yeah, that's my thought. I thought, yeah, no.
Okay, so that was just one concern
No,
I had.
it's a concern for
The other thing is, if we all had our lunches and could get out there at the right time, the majority of those lower grade kids are waiting for their upper grades, 4th grade specifically, to get their lunches and go. I still feel like standing on the white lines till you see your classmate, then you go and pick up the K1s from the central area, and then you just disperse from there. Makes so much more sense than trying to say everybody outside the gate when we could just be standing on the red dots on the white lines like we've told them.
I agree.
So it's like lunch is the holdup, not necessarily where you meet them, but like we just got to be able to get out there.
And just really for me, the concern was just so many. I mean, that's initially for me was just so many adults are on campus. That's why initially this plan came up. If lunch is the holdup, I mean, then maybe our focus should be, really directed at lunch, making sure lunch is, available, so we're not having people just waiting around. But I just felt there was just too many just adults just walking around campus.
I think there's 2 holdups. So I think I'm seeing what Sarah's seeing, and then I'm also seeing and I talked to you already about this today, Jamal, but I'm picking up my neighbor, I'm picking up my cousin's friend, and that is just like, so today there were so many kids left, and there were a lot of them were waiting for the 4th graders that were still not out. But then it was a lot of like kids that I thought had siblings that were, oh, okay, hi Kat. I thought they were in 4th grade, but they were like, oh no, that's just my neighbors in 4th grade. And I was like, no, go, you need to go home. So I think it needs to be made really clear to our families that it's siblings walk home with siblings, because there was a lot of it was a lot of families mixing and mingling, and then there was the picnic by the Bridges table, and it was a lot of congestion because of that. But if they stand on the white lines, then I think that they can wait, and they have a clear view of the cafeteria. They have a clear view of those doors that first grade exits through. So they should be able to see everybody that they need to see. Oh my, so that they can, sorry, my cat is distracting me while I'm trying to talk. They should be able to see everybody that they need to see so that they can meet their siblings. But if we got some of those other families out earlier, it would be helpful.
So Sarah Ramirez?
Sorry, did I have my hand up?
You did.
Oh, did I? No, I'm sorry. I kind of said my piece, and I'm sorry that I kind of interrupted. I just thought it was kind of like open call, but I didn't realize I can't see everybody's faces, so people probably had their hands up before me. So again, I apologize for that. But yeah, I just mentioned the crosswalk, just having one person lead that.
I just
No
had
worries,
like, would it be possible if like the upper grades went before the lower grades to get their lunch? That way, like, all the older siblings are already out there just waiting. Instead of little ones waiting for older ones, the older ones are now waiting for the little ones. I don't know.
Part of the schedule was because of when recess is. So between recess and picking up lunch, we were losing like 45 minutes of instructional time.
Oh, okay.
So that's why fourths is where it is.
Got it.
But again, if we could get lunches real quick like we did yesterday, then it's not so much of a problem.
Fifth grade's out there, so the kids that have fifth grade siblings should just be able to grab your sibling and go.
And one idea I had that might address what Kristen you're bringing up, I haven't done it yet, but it was something I just kind of thought of this morning, was the map that went out. I printed it, and then underneath I left the space to make lists. So I was going to talk to each of my kids in the morning, like, who are the walkers that walk out the front? Who are the walkers that need to walk out the back? Who needs to meet up siblings and what grade they're in? And then the car pickup people, like what their names are. And then I can just have it. I know sometimes it changes day to day depending on the family situation, but if I can have at least a list in general of what happens, it might help me guide them better. Like, you go there, there. And I know that works with older kids.
I think that's kind of what I've been doing too. And so I'm like, okay, you're a walker, go. And I kind of have been staggering them. If everyone did something similar, I think that would be helpful. I think I also know I've been like stationing myself on the yard playground, and I know Virginia and Karen have as well. I know other people have gone to the front gates, but if there are more people staying on the blacktop, helping keep kids on the white lines, then that would be helpful. It makes me a little nervous to put kids that close to the parking lot, because like today we had the picnic, but then we also had a great tag game going on. So if we're waiting for siblings right by a parking lot and we're bored, I don't know. I was happy they were behind the gate, because at least they could all be like, well, I'm close to the street, so I'm going to be calm and patient, but I don't know. They could also go wild.
Madeline asked a question in chat that it looks like a couple people answered, but somebody said something earlier that made me think the same thing. Are some lower grade teachers taking their whole class out of the gate so that they can watch their whole class? Or is everybody still staying inside the gate?
We try our best to like stay inside the gate, but
So I know, so my class and I believe Whitney's class, I don't know if Whitney's here, but Whitney, jump in if you're here. It's like we dismiss the siblings first on the playground. We release them to their older sibling. And then if they don't have siblings or their siblings aren't out, then we take them outside the gate. And I think that's what Ellen also does.
Yes. Yes. I do. And it's normally just the 3 4th grade siblings that I have that come with me outside the gate. But then I leave them with whoever, you know, with Dania, and then I go out to the street. So agreed, Deb, if lunches aren't made. Victoria has her hand up.
Thanks. I wanted to comment on Anissa's suggestion about police presence. I like the idea of safe schools, but I think to start it off, we need a stronger presence. I have had near heart attacks watching cars double park, honk and yell at students to jump in the car, run into the street. Drivers who are not Dyer Kelly families will get aggravated and come into oncoming traffic to bypass that congestion. Children are still running across the street. Parents are jaywalking. Parents are making illegal U-turns in the middle of the road so they don't have to continue down Bell Street. I just think to ensure safety and that expectation of following traffic rules and laws, that we need a police presence, especially at that intersection. Not the 4-way intersection at Bell and Edison, but the crosswalk leading to the church and turning into that residential area is where I've seen the most illegal U-turns. And it's chaotic and it's really dangerous. I don't mind standing at that intersection. A lot of the kids recognize me now and they wait, but I can't do both intersections, that 4-way intersection, and some kids are still blindly running across. And I know that might not fall within our responsibility, but it's just nerve-wracking. And I just would like to know who I can call and bother every day to request a crossing guard, because I had motorists pulling over and telling me we need crossing guard because kids are at risk of getting hit. So I don't know who to contact for that, but I will gladly do that every day, multiple times a day, until we can get crossing guards. I've had parents ask if they can volunteer. So there's definitely an interest from the community to support us during dismissal that I would like to utilize. So if anyone has that information for crossing guards or training, I would love to know. Because I'm usually snatching kids by their backpacks because they just run right past me without looking into the street. It happens at least twice a day, every day during dismissal, without a doubt.
I have a question in response to that. Is it kind of across the board, or is it more of our newcomers? Because we could kind of tap into some district. Okay, so
it's across the board. It's all drivers.
Okay, I was thinking we could do like language family liaisons from the district to help do some educational awareness about the traffic.
But again, like Anissa was saying, it's just basic traffic laws. These children are not wearing seatbelts. I'm often like miming how to put on my seatbelt, like put on your seatbelt, and the kids just think it's funny and parents drive away and kids are practically halfway out the window. So again, I think a police presence at this point, quite frankly, is necessary because it's gotten so bad with the lax attitudes towards auto safety and following those traffic rules.
So we think though that they're going to then pull parents over?
I'm not saying pull parents over, but like, I think it's like when people see me in the high vis vest, they know to slow down. I have no legal jurisdiction, but they recognize that as, oh, I should probably slow down. I should probably not double park or pull around this car. I don't know that all families would recognize Safe School as having that kind of jurisdiction to say, hey, you need to buckle up your kid. I'm all for like parent education, but I know we've had accidents in front of school, even recently, and I want to avoid that at all costs.
For sure.
So I'm not saying attack families and tickets, them, but there needs to be a presence because it's the last 2 days have been out of control. Just absolute chaos on that corner.
Yeah, definitely, because a lot of people don't recognize safe schools, and I don't even know what safe schools, what their authority is anyway. Like, as a teacher, I don't know what they can and can't do in terms of if they do notice like a traffic violation. Like, it's been years of people coming onto our campus with no seatbelts on, and like kids, like she said, how she mentioned like hanging out the windows. And I think that definitely like we can communicate that to the officers. Like, we don't want to scare our families or make them feel uncomfortable. We just want them to realize that there is a very serious matter that we want to be addressed in our parking lots.
Now, I don't know very well enough. I know Safety School has their special car, but the Safety School officers, do they wear anything that shows that they're Safety School?
Yes.
What do they?
Uniform. It's a uniform. Yeah.
Oh, and it looks official. I can't remember.
Yeah, it looks official.
Okay.
So Jamal, on the lunches, do you want to give it a try of figuring out a schedule and just having them delivered to the teachers' rooms in these bags outside, and maybe the older kids, like somebody said, a couple older kids come down to grab them for like 4th and 5th graders or something?
Yeah, I'm down with that. Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, because I've seen in the chat that, I mean, we could try giving it a shot. I know that the rec aides are out on recess, so we'd have to look at the recess schedule and see who we could pull to help. I'll help.
I'm willing to help on Mondays and Tuesdays while I have my co-teacher here. Like, I think we can rally enough people to deliver them if that's the holdup. But like Deb keeps mentioning, they're just not made. But I think having the bins, putting them in there, oh wow, we're still short 100. Let's make 100 more before school's out. Like, would be super helpful.
So.
Charlotte, did you have something to add?
Nope, you're muted,
Charlotte. The whole crosswalk thing. We used to do that here, and the Sacramento County Sheriff's Department told us that we had to cease that kind of situation, that we weren't allowed to be crosswalkers. So I was just letting you know that we had something like that going at one time, but it's against the law.
So to clarify, I do not call myself a crossing guard. I'm just a crossing chaperone.
Yeah.
I do not direct traffic. I walk across the street with my
Okay, you're chaperones. Okay.
No, I'm dead serious, because I talked to Maureen about this last year. I walk across the street with my hands behind my back to and from. I do not direct traffic. A lot of these kids the little ones especially, are so nervous to cross the street because they do not see, like, they're as tall as the bumper on some of these SUVs. Yep. And when we're double parked today, even I had to like stop in the middle of the street and peek around these vehicles to see oncoming traffic.
And there does need to be somebody there. I agree with that. And we had that going on until they told us that we couldn't do that anymore. So it's unfortunate, but I'm glad they're chaperones. Real glad.
Well, and also part of it can be the issue of requiring, I don't know about with San Juan, but with SAC Unified, they were requiring it. They were requiring teachers to be crossing guards out on the street. And they were saying with the union that you can't make us be, for safety issues, you can't make a teacher direct traffic onto a street. You can help them in the parking lot. And so you would have had to volunteer to be able to help with crossing on the street. They just couldn't require you to.
Okay, so on this subject, just to clarify, like, what is the decision? You know, like what are we supposed to tell students tomorrow? What are we supposed to tell families? Because it seems like a lot of ideas have been thrown out, and it's like, now, what's the rule? Because honestly, at this point, whatever the rule is, I don't really care. It just seems like all of us have all these ideas, and it's just getting kind of confusing for me personally. So like, am I telling my students that we're all on the blacktop? I tell like at dismissal, like when I'm supposed to teach my kids where to go, am I still telling them, okay, we're picking up our lunch, you're going to wait on the white lines, when you see your sibling, walk to your sibling, and then you walk home together? Or am I supposed to bring my class out beyond the gate? Because it was my understanding that like we don't really cross the gate. Like we're all monitoring kids on the other side, and there's like support staff on the other side of the gate, and they're like mitigating things. But if there's not enough support staff, then teachers are crossing the gate and then taking their class with them, obviously, because they're supervising them. And then there just seems to be a lot of jumbled things. So I don't know if we literally need to have like, you stand here, like we used to have zones where we would stand. I don't know if that's more productive, or if we just have a like, this is where 3rd grade is, this is where 4th grade is, this is where 1st grade is. Like, I want to know the decision, I guess.
So can I recommend something? Because I'm out there in the grind. So what I've noticed is there is staff that's out there. Well, there are teachers out there. But what I've noticed is teachers are using that time more to mingle and talk and converse than actually pay attention and actively assist the people that are out there. So that's my thing. Myself, being out there, my thing is, if you're not going to help, stay on the other side of the gate. Like, and I think regardless of what the decision is or what's going to happen or people picking zones, it doesn't even matter what zone you're in. I honestly think that, I've just lived my life like a team, like we all a team. So it helps better if everyone has a part, everyone plays their part. If everyone plays their part, then we can knock it out so easy. It's more of us than, I've seen at any other school. You know what I mean? Like if there are like 3 people in one area, but we have, people need help at one end of the parking lot and the other end of the parking lot. Like, over on the other side of Edison, right over there by the 2nd grade, 5th grade walkers, that's me and Billy all day. But I tell y'all right now, I didn't already have like 4 cars today, easy driving 40 miles an hour down that street. I had one kid run out and then run back while I'm standing in the middle of the street. But, I don't know. I definitely think that everybody getting on one page, and I don't think there's anything wrong with people volunteering to assist. If not, drop your kids off and go home. Like, that's really how I feel. And it sounds real blunt, but that's really how I feel as somebody who's been out there and honestly is volunteering her time to go out there. I see people out there mingling and talking and all that. That's cool and everything. Once the kids leave, then we could do that. It just really sucks that people are out there, want to have a say in what's happening or what people should be doing, but no one's helping. That's what I really noticed, and I think that's a big problem. In that we should all think that all of this is about the safety of the kids and not us.
And I'll flip on the opposite. I was one that had to leave because I did try to help, and I got a snapback from people, not from you, Angelina, but of why are you're telling them something different? We were not, like you said, not on the same page, and there was some. This is my zone. You don't get to tell the parents what to do. I'm telling them to do it this way. And I had to be like, okay, obviously I'm not help. So I'm going to go back in because we don't need to have drama between anything else. And it was kind of hard of who is making sure that whoever is in charge of the zone is up to date, is in this meeting and does know exactly what we're doing as a team. So that if teachers are helping, they're helping effectively.
Oh, exactly.
and not think they're helping when they're not. And so, yeah, I did like,
exactly, Lisa.
I'm not helping right now.
No,
so
Lisa, I get it. That's, you know what? Because I'm glad that you shared that, because that's the thing. Everybody want to say mine, me, what I'm doing. It's not about what you're doing. It's about people trying to help you. Okay. My thing is, what I've learned to do is with people, where do you need me? What do you need me to do? And you know what, as adults and as grown-ups, we have a hard time humbling ourselves in asking that. It's okay not to just walk in there and say, oh, I'm here to help. Okay, that's fine. I know you're here to help, but this is my area and this is where I need you to help. You know what I mean? But even some people who are used to running things, they don't even know how to tell people where they need them. You know what I mean? So I definitely get that, because I've noticed that too, even with myself. But I think about, I'm out here for the kids. I'm not even out here for you. So the attitude, I don't need it. So what do you need me to help you with? Like, because I've assisted some teachers with that statement too. Where I need you to help me? I need you to help me do this, this, and this. I have a system going. Let me show you my system. People like that. Sometimes you got to kiss people's butt just to get things done. It sucks, but you know what? I'm going to do it just to help these kids.
Do we have zones? I'm confused. My zone. I heard my zone. I don't have a zone. Do I have a zone?
Well, so when we're out there, so we just, when I say zones, because I'm normally out there. Yeah, exactly. Right. So the certain areas, they're not labeled or anything, but I know that Molly has a zone. I know that Mimi has a zone. I know that Kim has a zone. I know that Billy has a zone. You know what I mean? They're not numbered or labeled. Maybe if we want to number them or label them.
I was gonna say, I missed all the My Zone drama because I didn't even know I had a zone.
Well, the thing about it is, I don't necessarily think there's any My Zone drama. The thing about it is, these people are normally in these areas and they run these areas, so they have created what works for them. And I guess it bothers them when other people come in or try to help them. But the thing about it is, I've realized is, what I've noticed is they don't know how to ask for help. Because that's the first thing, is they don't know how to ask for help. That's something that's learned also. You know what I mean? We all come from places where we got to do it on our own. You know, if they don't know how to ask for help, then they don't know how to ask you for help. So throw that arm out there and say, hey, how can I be of assistance to you? You know what I mean? So if you will notice, you will see these records. You'll see them. You'll see them and you'll notice who running things in that area. Who? How can I help you? Because they will let it be known who running things. Billy did just that. He said, Angelina, I could use your support at the top of the street of the playground. I said, you know what? I will be there. What do you need me to do? And it's that simple.
So then whoever is on the blacktop, I'm not sure whose area that typically is, but that's where I've been with the kids on the White Lions. I think that area could use some more adults who could be back in that area up if we're going to keep the kids on the White Lions, because today sucked and I could have used some help. So I'm asking for help if someone wants to go over there, because that was not a fun experience. And I blew my whistle at kids and I probably yelled at some of your kids and I apologize. I know.
Not my kids?
Not your kids.
Okay.
Children, just general.
You can yell at my kids. I'm giving you full permission to yell at Bridget's kids. They're not where they're supposed to be.
No, they were. Your kids were fine, but there was the picnicking and the tagging, and I was like, right. And it would be helpful if there were more adults out there, so I can kindly place children on the white line instead of getting to the point where that would be cool.
Yeah, because I personally feel they should be off camp. You know, if they're not in Bridges, they got to bounce.
I agree.
That's just how I feel. If you're not on Bridges, you got to be out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's.
So I have a comment. I can stay here all day and talk with you guys. I mean, I totally appreciate the feedback and the input. I'm just thinking, so maybe what we do is keep things where they are for now, so there's not too many changes, and let us work on lunch. Let us work on the problem that keeps interfering with everything else. Let us do the lunch thing. That's going to take a little while. And then we'll start picking apart the other stuff. Like when we're out there, I mean, if you want to volunteer, absolutely volunteer. We'll end up with a system kind of organically. That's just my thought. Like, let us do lunch and then.
So then I have a question about lunches.
Yeah, did you guys want to change? Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it should be you. I was just saying, my only thing I was going to ask about the buckets is if we do anything with handing lunches, that does mean that we have to get rid of the Google Doc though, because any lunches that go back to our classroom, we have to have the paper sheet for. That's my only concern.
You have to do both.
You have to do
That's
both
what,
of them.
So digital.
You don't get rid of it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but at the very
I'll
least,
find out
teachers
about
need
that.
to.
I'll find out more because we weren't doing both at Edison, but that's Edison.
So I was thinking, are you guys thinking lunches are delivered, bags, buckets, however we're going to do it, and then grades 1 through 5 still meet on the white lines and kinder stays the same? Is that so the teachers know what to tell their kids on Thursday? Is that what we're thinking? I get a yes from
Well,
Sarah.
I don't. And are we going to be ready by Thursday? Like we still need an opportunity to talk to Joel. We still need to work out some things. So it's like, I don't know if it's like, yep, do it Thursday.
Well, can we just say we stick with like our meeting zones and like where it's been working? So meeting siblings in the line and the play behind the fence, try to get as many kids with their siblings before you leave the fence, you know, to disperse the car people.
Yes, I think everything should stay the same right now and let us work on one piece at a time. That's my thought.
Yeah, and we could still manage the parking lot as much as we can.
Yeah.
So to clarify,
are we saying things stay the same like with this picture? So should first grade still do the drop off at the kinder lot? Sorry, I'm seeing the head shake different ways. And then everything else like with siblings remain the same? Just a clarifying. Like should first grade, that's a very, sorry, first grade specific question. Should we continue to have our parents meet in the kinder parking lot?
I say we try to get them to do that because that was already conveyed to them as of today, at least for us.
Because you guys didn't have any coverage. I didn't, go to that lot at all. So I didn't
Yeah.
see anything.
I mean, I still had some parents in the other parking lot, but I think if we can just try to get all the siblings together on the playground, so the least amount of kids are exiting the gate, and then we can go to that little middle area just for safekeeping right now until they are used to going to the kinder parking lot. Does that make sense? We could stay in the middle still.
And this is just for teachers. What I wanted to thank you, a teacher I was talking to, because she, per SLA, I don't like to say that, you're only supposed to be at contractually 10 minutes. And some of you stayed past that. 5 minutes. Sorry, my bad, 5 minutes. So this is kind of what's going to happen though. So if you did at least 15 minutes, can you please do a time card for today for it? And then in the future, if you, want to, stay in increments of 15, we can just time card you and we could turn that time card in. Okay. And if you can just let me know which teachers, just maybe send me an email. Hey, this is something I'd like to do, Mr. Maybe I'll, 15 minutes. And like I said, we'll just put you on a time card. And I do want to thank you because I know it's not even about the money for you guys, because you guys haven't even said anything about it, but I just feel you should be compensated. I mean, you guys got to go to your other Zooms, you have other stuff that's on your plate, and I really do appreciate you guys just staying. And I know it's not even about the money, but please, we will pay you for increments of 15 minutes.
Hey, Jamal, can I ask a quick question
yes.
about that?
Mm-hmm.
Can we add, so one of the other parts of the SLA is that if we are at recess the entire time because our class sizes are bigger now, that we can also do 15-minute increments for recess. So should we do it all on the same time card or separate time cards? Just to kind of clarify.
They did say that recess that you could do that. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Okay, if they did, let's do the same time card.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I still have a question that we haven't addressed. It was brought up because today we had the walking parents go to the parking lot where the teachers are exiting, instead of keeping them, so the second through fifth grade walkers. So said they were in the parking lot so they could eyes on their students.
I did like this here. I mean, I really did. Once Maureen moved them over here, you can just see they were just a group of them, and they weren't really in the lots, but they were just right here, and they were able to see
the
kids.
So we'll try it again on Thursday. And
is it okay if I move this over here? Are we kind of in agreement with that? Can I move this here, and I'll move it over here? That's the only change, is the here to here. And then we're going to look for officer. We're going to have a sheriff officer, a deputy here, just to kind of just have a presence, just so parents can see that. Hopefully we can get a little education right there.
Yes.
And then I just think in general, if you guys want to just, thank you to Kristen for that question or two, but if you're not in Bridges, I mean, you have to be off campus. I mean, I really want to say what I would do, but I'm just holding back, but yeah, I think
no, that's it. That's how it used to be.
You got to get off campus. That's all. You got to keep it.
Oh, really? That's how it used to be. That's,
there shouldn't be anyone loitering around. And like I said, if you need for me to be in here, I'll be in here. I'll get them off campus.
Oh, trust me, I have no problems doing it.
Yeah, we should be off campus.
Everybody else to be on board.
I was there with Kristen, and when I appreciate that she had her whistle and ended up, kind of having to shout at the kids. But I was like, yes, Mrs. Culpepper, because I was the one nicely saying, okay, white line, okay, but there's 60 kids, and she had to be like, all right, finally, no, this isn't working. Whistle, let's go.
My mom told me to get the neighbor, and my mom is better than you when it comes to this. And I will stand here and get the neighbor, and they were not going to leave.
Yeah,
so and if this has to go to I think it's beyond us because there was a group of a ton of kids, and they were like, I am getting the neighbor lady. And I was like, you go home, second grader. Like,
And just, I'm not moving from my spot. I do not want to go to the white line. I'll go 2 feet back. I'm like, I'm not leaving. I'm still standing here. I can see that you didn't, but
Yeah,
really
well, I don't play
making
that,
sure.
So the kids know I don't play that.
Well, so I blew the whistle, and then everyone went to the white line. And one kid said, what is your name, miss?
He was telling.
Yeah, so moving forward though, so what we'll do is we will be working on the lunch schedule. I will contact Shannon and just to see like what we can do to kind of support Joel and making sure that he has, you know, the tools to make sure our lunches are delivered on time. We'll also work on getting the lunches delivered. Is that correct? We'll look for Officer Gibbons to have more of a presence on campus. Teachers who do want to stay 15 minutes after the 5 minutes, we'll put you on a time card. And then we'll just keep debriefing and see what kind of tweaks that we need to do. Is that okay that we're, and like I said, I'll move the here over into that parking lot right there, over in here.
I really appreciate that we came together and did this. So thank you.
No, thank you guys for forgiving me. You know, I'm sorry about that. Is that it?
Okay, bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jamal.
Thanks,
Maureen.
You're welcome.
You guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll email you the notes.
Thank you.
I was rapidly typing and I'm just going to condense it down.
You guys don't want the recording or anything?